Today is Sunday, June the 9th. We're at San Jose Kelly Park to attend the Volunteer Appreciation Party hosted by Assemblymember Evan Low and also the chairman of the board of De Anza Foothill College. Evan Low is running for congressman and Patrick Aaron is running for state assembly member.
I'll be around. You'll see my face again.
Well, how about getting good stuff to say with you guys? He was at the house party.
Thank you guys, yes, for the service.
Hi. She's so big. Sophie, give a hug.
Yes.
Hey, Julie.
Yes. It is inspiring seeing young people. And on behalf of Evan and Patrick, I want to say thank you to the young people who are here. Our future is so much safer in your hands. But I want to go back to March 5th. March 5th, 2024. It was a bittersweet night because while Patrick was well ahead in the polls, let's show a little love for Patrick. We were a little bit more nervous that night on the other side of our ticket, weren't we?
Yeah.
Weren't we?
Yeah.
Some of us, we talked, we were biting our nails.
Evan.
But ladies and gentlemen, that was a great success, but it will be fleeting if we don't match that effort come November. There will be no do-overs. There won't. We will not be this fortunate to get one more chance to hit the streets the way that so many of you did back in March and April and May in our community. Evan knows how expensive it is to live in this area. Just like us, he lived with his parents. Patrick knows how expensive education is. He still lives just like we do in the shadow of crippling education debt. Evan knows what it means to be afraid of the epidemic that is gun violence. It touched him and his family just in the last 6 to 9 months. Patrick knows what the unhoused in our community that Sam has punched down at for the last decade, what they're feeling because he lived in his car. They don't just pretend to represent our community, they are our community. These aren't lived experiences in the past tense. These are experiences that they are living. So what do we do now, ladies and gentlemen? We've got a couple months, and it's time to hit the streets. There's no more room for regret, ladies and gentlemen. There's no more woulda, coulda, shouldas, ladies and gentlemen. For us, we need to give one more dollar. We need to make one more post. We need to make one more phone call, knock on one more door. Every single one of us. Otherwise, we're going to be having that same sense of, what could I have done differently? Abe Koga. The Vice President of the Fremont Union High School District, Naomi Nakano Matsumoto. The Cupertino Union High School. Thank you. Let's give it up for Patrick Hammond. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you. Welcome to the general election. Or should I say, welcome Evan Low to the general election, because we've been here for a while. But it's glad to have you join us in the general election, boss. We're really excited. As many of you know, I've worked for Assemblymember Low for over a decade now, and when I first started, I didn't even know how to make a certificate, let alone how to print one out, and there's a special way to do it, okay? And he has not only took a chance on me and hired me when I didn't come from a well-connected family, did not
know the first thing about how to organize my own community, and you took a chance on me and not only taught me how to advocate and organize the community, but how to be an effective public servant in this business. And so I just want to say thank you so much, boss, for every opportunity you've given me. You know, as we see almost daily, there is another struggle or catastrophe happening around the world or on our national politics stage. And I can think of no better person to be the antithesis to Donald Trump and the rage and hate that is occurring across the country than sending Evan Low to Congress. Yay! For over 20 years in elected office, my boss has advocated for the people who don't have a seat at the table and actively engages them to uplift their voice. And I can think of no better partner to work with him in the state legislature, as I have learned from him for this past decade, than sending him to Congress and sending me to the state assembly, where I hope to continue his legacy on being one of the most prolific champions for equal rights, for affordable housing in our community, even though it may not be politically popular to do so, for advocating for a clean and healthy environment, on all of our environmental policies, for being the author and the preeminent progressive champion on equal rights and ensuring that we finally remove the dark stain of history that is Proposition 8 from our California Constitution this November. He has taken the hits for us each and every time. There has been no other legislator in the state of California that has received more death threats than my boss, because he has been unashamed and unafraid to be uplifting the most vulnerable in our community. And I'm really proud to join you and will be an unapologetic champion to continue your legacy, boss. So without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to the next.
He didn't say anything about himself. This is a joint celebration of our community that cares about democracy, that cares on making sure that representation matters, that lived experiences of adversity matters, that it matters when a Californian talks about being a beneficiary, falling through the cracks, but the vision of the state of California and policymakers before us, creating safety nets for someone like Patrick, who is the first in his family to go to college, who lived in his car, talks about this not with stigma, not with shame, but with truthfulness of authenticity. And that's exactly why we need someone like Patrick Ahrens working in the California State Legislature with lived experiences in advocating and not forgetting what this job is about. That it is absolutely about those that most need our support. And by the way, does anyone know the story about how Patrick Ahrens actually got a job working in the California State Legislature? And it's actually something to be told. Just for, we're all just friends here. We have a video camera here too, but it's okay. Patrick is district director for me in the California State Legislature. I was then the district director, a staff member for then Assembly Member Paul Fong, who is also here. Oh, yeah. And we were in our district office, and we were looking to hire a district representative. And so we made the job posting, and there was a young gentleman by the name of Patrick Ahrens who inquired about the position to work in our office. And so after interviews, we made him the job offer. As we made him the job offer and I called Patrick, Patrick then said, after I said, we'd like to make you the offer, he said, I'm going to have to politely decline. And I said, I'm sorry? We just went through this exhaustive interview process, and I told everyone else no, and we're making you the offer. And he said, I'm sorry, I'm in a relationship right now, and my girlfriend won't allow me to leave. So it says that you prioritize your love life for democracy? Where are your values? And so I must admit, I was taken aback by this, and I informed then boss, Senator Fong, sorry, he had other priorities, not prioritizing democracy in action. And so, frankly, I kind of just said, okay, well, thank you, have a nice day. 3 days later, I received a handwritten thank you note from Patrick Ahrens, thanking us for the process of allowing an opportunity to go through an interview. And I thought that was such a nice, warm touch, because that is also a lost art about being human, and also understanding that sometimes conversations can be tough. There are times in which we will disappoint one another. But how do we make sure that we are human at the same time and recognizing the best of what we have to offer? And so as a result of that, he was not on the bad list anymore. And when he applied for the next time there was a vacancy, the rest is history. And so again, it shows the basic humanity of the human touch. And so for those who may be too young to know what it's like to address an envelope and to know what a stamp is, and I can share with you, as we wrote a number of correspondences, we had to do some training on how to write an envelope and also how to stamp an envelope as well too. So let's make sure that we get a chance to do that. But Patrick, we're so excited for your success as well. And this cannot be done. We're not here to speechify, but let me just also, on behalf of all of us, I am looking around at each and every one of you who has made it possible in so many different ways in recent times of effectuating change in some fashion. Whether or not it's getting a Democratic Party endorsement, we are officially the sole candidate to be endorsed by the California Democratic Party. There's one strong Democrat in this race. But guess what? That could be not done for so many of you, and I'm looking at you in particular, Heather. I see you as well too, and I see many that are here, Ruben. Countless people, or whether or not it's advocates on the floor to getting the California Teachers Association sole endorsement as well too. Thank you, Ava. Representative candidate to support everyday workers and educators, but these are hard fights. Or whether or not it's like I see so many, including Debbie Nongai, who would be at the registrar of voters and making sure that every vote counts, that we would actually go out throughout this arduous recount process. I myself, I must tell you, was outside voters' homes 5 times, 6 times, hours on end when it's raining, going to 7-Eleven to just kill time and coming right back, not being crazy or attempting not to be crazy at being a stalker, and going on Ring camera and saying, I'm sorry, I know this is the 5th time, but I really wanted to know, do you wish to have your vote counted in this recount process? Because every vote counts, and it could really value your vote, and we would do all of that, and so many of you did that in this process. So if anything is to show, democracy is alive and well, but it can only be done with a community and a village. And let us not forget that it's about the future. It's about children. And that's what this conversation is all about. And we're doing this because we care about our future. We're willing to put the sacrifices. We're willing to take our valuable time out of a Sunday to come to a park and be here because we have a greater calling beyond ourselves. So having said that, know that your work and your efforts in Patrick and myself is about a community. And we will work incredibly hard to make you proud because we take this job very seriously, and we will not lose sight of our values, about the moral compass and what this is really about. Never losing sight that we're fighting for those without a voice. And at the same time, we know, and many of you have also played this role, you will hold us collectively accountable when we may miss the mark, when we may be fault as human beings, but we'll get right back up as a family and as a community as well too. So please know that the months ahead will be long and hard. And in my race, the contrast could not be clearer between the two candidates in this race. Who is best equipped to reflect the future of the Democratic Party, or who is the person that's going to fight for the billionaire class and making sure that the status quo maintains? The choices cannot be clear. When you look around the coalition of the beautiful diversity of all of you right now, we know that that's what this campaign is about. So let's make sure that we redouble our efforts in helping to ensure that democracy is alive and well, and that the people will always matter as well. Thank you very much for all of your efforts and all of your support. Let's continue to enjoy each other's company, but we will need you to be ready to go. So let's recharge and get into November. Thank you very, very much.
En vez de ponerle un